And here we are, y'all. Welcome to the first episode of How We Bounce Back. Looking at what we got here, this is not the most sophisticated studio set. This curtain doesn't even extend all the way. We got a couch back here. We're recording this straight out of me and Rosemary's apartment, but it is what it is. We're working with what we got. Anyhow, we're ready to give you all fun and meaningful conversation on overcoming adversity and ensuring that you are not alone when you think the world is crumbling around you. We're all here to reach out to each other, ensure that we maintain the most happiness in our day-to-day lives. And our very first guest tonight knows exactly what it's like to ride that roller coaster ride of life and not let any of this BS phase him. He currently resides in Northern Virginia. He's a co-owner and an athletic performance trainer at C4 Explosive Training. He's a former NFL player for the Houston, Texas, and New Orleans Saints. He can freestyle like Kendrick, give you the people's elbow like The Rock. He got them dance moves like Devin Edwards. He's the husband of Colleen Brown. He's Woodbridge's hometown hero, and he is my best friend for the last 20 years. He's the one and only Austin Brown.
That was an intro, my man. Oh, my goodness. How you doing, man?
How you doing, brother? I'm glad you come to the show. Thank you for coming to the season premiere, bro.
Hey, I'm happy. My wife gave me my honey-do list, and I got it done today, so I was able to do this. You know what I'm saying? We're redoing the house. She had me doing everything, man. It's crazy. Man, brother. Crazy out here.
You know, I know you're a PE teacher at Saunders Middle School. It's been obviously a challenging thing in 2020 trying to work with, you know, what's allowed, what's not allowed. There's so many restrictions. It's all about being safe. Totally get it, right? But, you know, Absolutely. Being a PE teacher, you know, for a middle school, you're fostering the next generation. You know, can you describe what virtual teaching is like? And and as a follow-up question, are these kids really paying attention in class?
You know, it's a little bit of both. And the first day of class, we're on Zoom calls. I got 40 kids on a Zoom call in the PE class. I'm sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? But you make the best of your situation. And that's what I told the kids. I'm like, you're responsible for your learning. Like, I will give you the tools in order for you to gain as much as you can from our curriculum and from me, but you're really responsible for your own learning. And some of them took it to heart and they were like, yeah, he's right. And the other ones, you know, you just we're just like, I'm just going to go play Xbox. But like, I can't do anything about it. So, but only the way I teach with a lot of energy. And the reason I got into teaching is because I don't like making things about me, bro. I hate it. Like, maybe like when we're all like hanging out and like partying, I love to be like, you know, outgoing and center of attention sometimes. But day to day, I love just giving everything that I've learned throughout my life and just giving it to people, right? Teaching them lessons or giving them some type of information that I've learned in college or a professional development or something like that. So I just told the kids, man, like it is your job. You're responsible for your own learning, and you're going to make the best of your situation, or you're not going to take advantage of this right now. So they have all the resources in the world. They have Google right to the other screen, right? They can minimize one screen. Any quiz they take, anything, they have the resources to figure out how to problem solve and just wiggle around some of the things that they couldn't do face to face. So there's no excuses for them. So, and tenfold, right? So I have kids, I teach special ed. I teach kids that are ESOL, so their second language is English. I teach kids that are hearing impaired, so I got to add subtitles to the bottom of my Zoom calls. It is just things you don't think about teaching-wise, like just face-to-face. Usually, like with an ESOL student, buddy them up with somebody who's bilingual and can speak their language, whether it's Urdu or Spanish. Or this year, like I got a kid who speaks Russian, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do. So I like going on Google Translate and type in everything that I need from him.
Oh, Lord.
I know. And I translate it to Russian. And then you find a way. You find a way to get it done. And once again, it's about the kids, right? You want to give them as much tools as they can to be successful. And if this is our new normal, you're going to sink or swim. And we want all these kids to swim.
Yeah, and you give them as I'm not saying you're the parents for all of these kids, but you give them the options of, you give them their, you know, these are your options to succeed. You know, I'm not going to force you to go that way, right? It's up to you to decide to go that way. And that's the way, you know, you like, because like as humans we're wired to rebel, and that like as parents, like we're not parents yet, and like someday we will be, but like we're wired to rebel. And like the fact that you pose it out there as like, hey, like this is the tools you got, these are the resources you got, it's all here, we're working what we got. I don't know, like it's COVID, like I don't know like how it's going to work right now, but I'm doing the best you can, so it's up to you to move forward, to succeed. And if you don't, then that's your prerogative, and if you don't, and I'm sure as a teacher, like if someone's falling back, you're going to give more attention to care to that person. But that's so meaningful, bro. Like we can't force it, but like that's the thing. It's like when you force it upon someone, their instinct is to rebel, and like that's why it's
literally go against the grain, right? I mean, you look at everybody look at our pop culture kind of icons, right? You look at people like people who are on these reality TV shows that everybody's watching. It's like these are all people that go against the grain, right? They're different, and what makes them different gets them these like shout outs, the fan games, all that stuff, right? So now I try to do enough to keep the kids engaged. Like so, the other day we did my 8th graders, we did a boxing class. Our curriculum, like sequences and steps and things like that. So I want them to stay engaged. So I want to do like things that they think is cool, like not just the old, boring kind of way that some teachers do, and they lose interest of the kids. But get these kids to move while we're doing our active portion of the class, and teaching them how to, defend themselves if they need it. You never know.
It's a big thing. Yeah.
Just teaching them the different punches and how to guard their face, and they were doing push-ups in between. It was really, really cool. And a lot of the kids that think they're too cool for school were like, man, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna participate.
Right.
So yeah, and like they're turning their cameras on so like we're having a struggle where they're not turning on their cameras, and you can't make a kid turn his camera on. But like if you start doing things that are, I don't know, they get to them and they enjoy being in the class, they're going to want to participate. They're going to want to be there. Yeah. So that's kind of virtual PE in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's going to develop over time, bro. Like, it's going to be a hybrid model. It's like, so we're all learning. It's a very uncertain like period of like policy and like, process. So, gotta be patient.
It's like fake it till you make it, right? Act like you know what you're doing.
Very absolutely, yeah. It's different with middle school kids. I'm sure if you had high school kids, they kind of like have their shaped mind on like where their long term, life plans are gonna go. But middle school kids, they're kind of just like, So you have a great challenge on your hand, bro, and that's a blessing, to take on. Yeah, the like kids that are like in their quote unquote terrible teens, everybody, so like props to you, bro. Like, amen. Switching gears, I know it's all the guys' favorite time of the football year. It's NFL is in full swing. Most of our significant others, especially Rosemary, she's not even here in this living room right now, but they hate it. They hate it when we bring the NFL games onto our TV for 7 to 8 hours, red zone. Every Sunday. But Rosemary calls me potato. But it is what it is. We love football, right? And I know Austin loves football. Everyone loves football. A lot of guys love football. Some girls like football, but we love football. I want to ask you, AB, how does Colleen treat NFL Sundays at home with you?
She hates them, bro. She hates them so much.
Yeah.
But I was talking to you earlier about this list, right? I told her, look, hey, babe, give me a list of things you need me to get done, and I will get them done before 1 o'clock. And once 1 o'clock starts,
okay.
1 o'clock till about 8 at night, bro, we ain't doing nothing. We watching ball.
Right.
We're watching football, and we're watching our fantasy scores, and that's just kind of it happens from September, October, November, and like the first week of December. That's what happens. But no, she's grown to. So I won one of my big money leagues, right? I'm sounding like a cliche, fantasy. Oh, in my other league, but I won one of my other leagues, and all that money come in, and it was so funny because this was like last year. She was like, when I lost, she's like, why'd you lose? And then when I won, she said, oh, we won. So this whole we thing versus you. So like I would lose, but then when all of a sudden it turned into we, and I'm like, we who? Like this is my money.
Yeah. Well, when there's an incentive, the ladies pay attention. Yeah, I hear you, bro.
we, we, we in France? Like, are we?
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's cool.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not wasting my money. If I,
There'll be a way. Hey, man, one day we'll teach your wife and my fiance. We'll teach them how to play Madden, and they'll start. Once they start to get familiar who the players are, maybe they'll get into it. But I mean, as long the thing is, what you said is most important. You compromise, kind of like what Coach Taylor and Tammy Taylor said in the season finale of Friday Night Lights. Right? They use is one thing about a marriage is compromise. You make sure everything
Absolutely.
gets done at a certain time. So we all have our weekly goals and to-do lists, right? And you got it done. Yeah, so it's my turn to relax and sit back on the couch like this, and like, hey, football time, 7-8 hours is not compared to all the other hours in the week. So, amen to that, bro. Yeah.
Like I went golfing this morning, like before she woke up, so it was great.
There you go. Yeah,
got it
absolutely, man.
7 a.m., 8:30, and
it's not taking out the time because they're sleeping. Yeah, Rosemary out here about to hit me with a broomstick real quick, but anyways, bro. Exactly, all the time. All right, brother, but before we dive into human connection, let's go ahead and play a quick picture association game. I'm going to go ahead and put 9 pictures of other people up on the screen, so everyone's going to see it at home. And then in just one short sentence, describe what each person means to you.
This is going to be hilarious. Like Warren Sapp.
You can see my screen already?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
You might be seeing my screen already.
Nah. Who is it? Oh, it is Warren Sapp. See, I
knew it. All right. Now, here we go. Let's start playing this game. Just say one quick sentence what each person it means to you.
Warren Sapp, dude, inspiration. That guy literally made me want to play ball. That boy's the GOAT. He's great. GOAT, man. He's had a great run. So many bangers. I love him. Every time I hear one of his songs, it reminds me of a fun time in my life, man.
Amen, bro. Amen. Like he like Lil Wayne passed the torch to him, and this man took it to the next level. Absolutely.
He turned that torch into a bonfire.
Yeah.
OVO. Homeland. Gosh, when I see this picture, I get frustrated because she did so many dumb things in Homeland.
Yeah.
At the same time, I hated the season finale too, or the.
What? Oh yeah, because no spoilers, but yeah, we know, yeah.
Colleen and I powered through it. I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
She's a beast. Gosh, another season finale, just freaking.
Yeah. I'm putting it on the shows for you.
But like, she was down in. Remember how her brother used to treat her in like season 1? No, Khaleesi, she's a beast. She's a beast.
Yeah. Her character development was honestly unparalleled. Amazing.
Absolutely. Marty Bird.
Hey, Marty Bird, a hustler.
Yeah. Oh shit, Marty Bird always figures a way out of things, dude. Always has some type of plan going on or some scheme. He's a beast. D. Oh my goodness, probably the best high school football player in the state of Virginia ever.
Right.
But loved blocking for this guy. Loved man. He was everything and more, man. Always nice. Always working hard. Just I mean, rocket power. The dude was awesome.
Rocket power, yes, sir.
The Boucher boys. Gosh. I met Colin the first day of college, and I knew he was going to be one of my good friends. He's genuine, kind, funny, and all at once.
Wild boys, bro.
Austin's my boy, man. Oh, I love AB. Oh, man, he's awesome. Was wild. Oh man, my parents, they love, man. My dad came over we were taking down shelves and ceiling fans today. But love, unconditional love, that's what they mean to me. Oh man, that's my wife. She bad. Nah, once, she's the best. Look at her. I think she's in Greece there. But yeah, I met her in college, and every day gets better. As much as we have so many things going on in our life right now, and dude, I love her. Golly, she's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Amen, brother. All right, brother, let's dive deeper into human connection. Thank you again for playing that pitcher association game. But it's time to resonate with everyone at home. So I do want to ask as my first question, what was the toughest time in your entire life?
And this is, a deep question, but there was two times that were like pretty, like they're pretty tough for me. The first one was when I got cut in Houston. First time I've ever been like cut from a team, any team, or denied a job, or
Right.
I was basically told like you're not good enough to do this. And I thought of it as a blessing. And I'm like, I get to go home. I get to, I can get to start my 9 to 5 now. Like, all right, we gave a good run at it. Like I was for 6 months. Like, cool. Like I can play with these guys. Like play next to JJ Watt, play next to Like, cool. Like I can say I bet. And as soon as I got on that plane, like O'Brien, like sat down. He's like, "Oh, you can play in this league." I'm like, "All right, appreciate it." But like, you're cutting me. Like, thank you. But like, so I left, and you fly home after living in a hotel for 5.5, 6 months, and you just start thinking about life. You're thinking about how everybody else they're starting their job. They're they're like living their lives, and nothing's stopping them. Nobody's saying no. Right. And I'm like, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I got home, was living with my parents, and I signed a contract. It got voided, but I signed a contract for like $1.6 million, 3 years, 1.6. I'm sitting there like, I'm living in my child bedroom. Like when I was a child, like my childhood bedroom. And I'm sitting there like,
it was a massive reset. Yeah.
You go from Mount Everest all the way down to the well. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like I got to find a way to make it back. So just, on Facebook and stuff. And I started like substitute teaching because I always know, man, kids are my passion, man. They're awesome. So I started substitute teaching and doing some odd jobs. And me and my dad, we just started bickering at each other. He was always like, I'm thinking I'm a grown man. I can do what I want, but I don't have my own place. I don't have my own house. Don't have a place to rent. Don't have anything, right? So I'm living under his house, kind of live under his rules. And we almost came to blows a couple of times. I thought I was like, man, I'm checking him. I'm like, yo, who you talking to like that? And it's his house. He can talk to anybody however he wants. You know what I'm saying? But I had a tough transition knowing what to do and what to do without football. And it's a tough transition right now. Like, I love that sport. I love playing it. And I hated getting hurt, but we'll get to that in a little bit. That's like the second time. But finding my way back to like through arena football and just finding like a group of guys who love this same thing as much as I did, this childhood game, this innocent game that you want to play forever. And it's nobody's fault because there's so many people my college teammates are like me. I was fortunate enough to get a look. I was fortunate enough, right? Life's all about perspective. So I'm trying to sit here and think like my life isn't as bad as this person's. Like I can't sulk. So but like then I went to play arena ball and then killed it, man, killing everything. I'm like I'm a rookie. I'm a captain. I'm setting like I'm leading the league in block kicks. Teams are gunning for me on defense. So I go down to Orlando, play for the Atlanta Predators. And about 4 months into that, it was awesome. I was able to kind of make Orlando not my city, but like I felt at home. I was like, man, this is really cool, and I was getting paid to play. So when you get paid to play something, that makes you a professional, right? Still, I was a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I equate for like people listening. I equate like arena football to like AAA baseball. So you're like one step away from playing in the majors. So like once you get that call, you're going to a tryout or you're going to get signed by a team. That year we had 4 people get signed by NFL teams, and I was one of them. So come August, it was actually the game you guys were at, and had a great game. I had two sacks in the first quarter, second quarter.
Legendary.
Yeah,
Legendary.
picked up the fumble, took it back to the house. Like, granted, it's a 50-yard field, and AstroTurf.
Magic,
like,
man.
Yeah, but like, dude, just all these highs, man. Just meeting those people down there, and it was great. And I'm like, man, my life, this is great. You know what? Like, where's the adversity? Can't find it. Like, it ain't touching me. Like, little did I know that shit was right around the corner, man. Mm-hmm. And so the week after, it was August 25th, and Saints are in camp. My agent gets calls me like, hey, the Saints, they want you to, they need a D tackle. They had one that just got hurt. So I'm like, all right. So me and 4 other guys go up there. Or I'm sorry, there was 4 of us, 3 other guys. We all go up to Sulphur Springs in West Virginia at the golf course, the Greenbrier. And real famous place, awesome place. Not too far from where, my parents grew up, or where my grandparents live. Mm-hmm. So I get there, we have a tryout. I'm the only guy that's been playing football, right? Actually been playing arena. Everybody else has kind of been sitting at home. So I get up there and we run through these tests, and I'm killing it. I'm just like, they're assigning one of us. There's 4 of us there. I get through there. I'm running the L cone, running the shuttle, running my 40. We bench press. They give our height, weight. We do the vert, do the broad. I mean, just blow the test out the water for a defensive tackle, right? And I was sitting at dinner, and they were like, all right, we'll let you guys know, right? I'm sitting at dinner. They got dinner, like they catered dinner, every meal. I'm sitting there, and I have zero worry in my head that I'm going to get signed, and I'm going to sign a 1-year deal as a free agent. I have no worries at all. And it was because of my time in Cincinnati preparing for those tests at Ignition. Shout out to them. But like before I was picked up by Houston, but it was like riding a bike, and I knew these tests. I knew them. Right. So so after dinner, they call us up. Other 3 guys pack their bags. They fly back to where they're from. Right. One came from Texas. One other came from Florida. They all fly back, and they bring me to their room. They sign me. I grab my bags, and they outfit me for equipment.
Wow.
Ready to rock and roll. So we get through all that. I get my playbook. I get a crash course and a playbook. I still have it. It's about that thick for D tackles, D ends, and nose guard.
Right.
And I go to my room, and I just start studying. And I just go wham. I studied for about 2 hours that night so I could catch up on what I missed. And studied, they play a 4-3, so which is a little bit different than in Houston when we were through. So I'm just sitting there studying. You know, about halfway through the book, right? Kind of catch up to where they are. They've been in camp for about 2 weeks now. Mm-hmm. And I'm already going pumped. Like everybody's like, showing love because like it just went out on Twitter that like I got signed. And I'm like, all right, I go to sleep and on cloud 9. Next day, I wake up, we have a walkthrough, everything's good, we have a lift, nothing crazy, there's no practice. And I get to meet the guys. I see some of the guys that I play with in Houston, and they're awesome, man. Like you see those guys that are still like in their we're like in our early 20s, right? 22, 23, 24. So it's like you see those same guys, you're like, yo, what's up, man? How you been? Like, happy you got signed, man. You too, man. Like, so you're just happy for each other. And you're really living that dream, man. Like I'm sitting like Cameron Jordan's lockers next to me, Marcus Colston. Like you see these guys Drew Brees, man. Like you see these guys and you're just like
crazy.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, but it's not, and let me retract real quick. It's not everything that like people are human, right?
Yep.
Like TV makes people look superhuman.
Yep.
Like what I always tell people, don't self-sabotage yourself, because I think I did this a little bit. Don't self-sabotage yourself because you're supposed to be where you're at. Like God wouldn't put you there for like giggles, right? Like he put you there for a reason because you're supposed to be there. Like you earn the right to be there. So don't self-sabotage yourself or sell yourself short saying like, man, like I'm not cut out for this. Like don't back down. But so anyways, so let me get back to my story. I'm rambling on a little bit. My fault. So,
all good, man. All good. Please.
Yeah. So like, the next day I go out to practice and it's raining. And this is so funny because I go to the practice field, which is grass, right? Bermuda, beautiful grass. And I'm out there trying to get some work in early. So it's only me and there's another guy out there. And it's Drew Brees. And I'm sitting there like, Drew comes over, he's like, hey, we're having practice on the lower field. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay. So I like, grab my down there. But it's so crazy to think that that's a testament to him. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like this dude is one of the best to ever do it. But he's still preparing like a rookie would, like busting his hump. Like, so it was kind of cool. So I get down to practice. They made me do 100 up downs. That's our initiation, right? Rob Ryan was a D coordinator. Dennis Allen was in the back doing DBs. And then Coach Johnson was doing the D-line. I think he's with the Rams now. I don't know where he is. But so I do my initiation, get through a team period, get through individual, get through about, I would probably say about an hour, 15 minutes of practice, right? And we go to one-on-ones. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, let's rock and roll. Like you gotta like seize the day, carpe diem. Like get your ass in there, like rolling. You gotta make some noise. And I get in there, my first rep, I pivot on my inside leg and my kneecap like just severs. My rupture my patella. What happens is you rupture your patella tendon, you can no longer bend your knee, right? That would be like breaking your knuckle here and your leg just hangs there. So my kneecap shot up to almost where my hip is, like almost where my thigh, because it rolled all the way up my quad muscle. So I didn't know what happened at the time. Nothing hurt. I was just like, like I felt the pop. And then the doc says, bend your knee. And I was like, Doc, I can't. And he's like, oh, there's your kneecap. And it was in my quad. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So, man, that started a long road of rehab and trying to get back to even walking. So that was, and this is where you probably cut into this because this is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We connected on this front. I remember that day you did get injured. I was at work and I was telling like my best friend is in the NFL and like we just saw him like bust his ass off or just ran a defensive touchdown off of a block field goal. Like it was like a high, like as you described. And so that Monday, it was a Monday. I remember that. And like I was like, I felt like you succeeding was everyone else's success, which is how inspirational that you are. A friend, sent me an article. It's actually Charles, so I'll call him out. He sent me an article and he sent it and it showed you grabbing your knee and you got injured. And I remember walking to my desk and I was just like, I don't know what it was, but like, bro, like, wait, like, you don't even need to be related to that, but I teared up a lot. I actually cried. I'm not about to cry right now saying this, like, it was a very, because it was just like the emotion just went so high up and just came so far down. It just was just unbelievable. Like it was, like you went to the Houston Texans, got cut. Okay, that the competitive defensive line. New Orleans Saints, he got a shot. He's definitely going to make the regular season team and whatnot. And then once I saw that, like that hurt a lot. And like for us to be speaking about it today is clearly how powerful you are. But yeah, like you said, we're getting into this now. You got injured, on that first day of practice with New Orleans Saints. I do want to ask you, have you ever felt depression? Was that the time of depression? And, as a follow-up question, what would that person you are today sitting in that room tell the person you were at that time?
So I don't think the depression really didn't set in until probably like 2 months into my rehab. And I realized it was going to be like an 8-month rehab until I could even just get back to running again. And I remember going out at that Halloween as Forrest Gump because I finally could get, I got a couple degrees on my knees. So they put us in a straight line. Because of us Forrest Gump. And I'm like, oh, That's the only thing I can go as, but I couldn't. I'm in
Stop.
the city of New Orleans, living by myself. Right? I mean, I had a roommate, but he was playing, so he was on always food. So I just, man, I was by myself down there. New Orleans can be it can be a freaking ruthless place. It can be a awesome place. It can be everything, all the above. But yeah, depression really. I mean, it didn't. It set in because I think I was isolated and I didn't know where to turn. I had a backup plan. Like, knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work as a teacher with kids or as a coach or doing something to help somebody, a greater goal, right? But I also, I would sit there at night by myself, man, and I couldn't walk. And that is like the most alone and lonely thing I have ever done in my life. Like, I don't wish that upon anybody. And during COVID, like, I think people were going through that. So I couldn't even imagine like doing that for months on end. I did it for about 2 months. I couldn't do anything. And I didn't want to help from anybody. I was like, no, I got it. Like, I can do that. Like,
Right.
I try to, like my parents are trying to help me out. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Like, don't worry about it. It was my right leg, so I couldn't drive. I had to hire a driver, like, to get from point A to point B. I was get my groceries. Like, it was crazy. It was depressing and debilitating, dude. It was a trying time, man. But every day I went to rehab twice a day. One session in the morning. They ice my knee down, get the swelling out. One session in the evening. I would get a couple degrees back every single time. So my leg would be straight. They let the tendon mend back. They sewed the tendon back to the kneecap. And then every week, they just cranked on it and cranked on it and cranked on it and cranked on it and cranked on it until I could do it myself. And it took all of like 7 months for me to just get back to walking properly, having a proper gait, running, like jogging, and like I feel like I missed like a half a year of my life, like half a year of my career.
Right.
That could have happened. So it's like NFL stands for not for long. Like, like you don't have a long time to roll with it. So I got out of that, and got out of New Orleans in one piece. And what was funny is, and I think about it this day, and I got to stop thinking about it. But like in the NFL, once you get hurt, you get put on workers' comp. Or you get IR, and then you get put on workers' comp. And I turned it down because I was so depressed. I left my table, probably left like $100,000 on the table, and didn't take it because I was like, I gotta go home. I am depressed down here. I cannot stay down here any longer. And I think about it now. I'm like, what's wrong with you, boy? Why you do that?
Or you think about it now, like that might have been the right decision, bro.
Yeah, I know. But when you have money, you don't think about it. When you don't, that's all you think about, right?
Exactly.
So, I think about that's how depressed I was down there, and it took me a while before I could kind of get out of that. And I moved back home. I couldn't find a job, and I couldn't find a job that I wanted. There's jobs out there, and people could do, and some people are like, oh, you got to work on weekends, so I don't want to do that, or I gotta, those are odd hours. I just want a 9 to 5. So there's jobs out there, right, for people, and it's just like whether or not you want to conform your schedule or conform your life to it. So I didn't want to do that. I struggled for a little bit. I struggled finding a job, and I was substitute teaching and loved it, man. And Kyle was a teacher. I got into teaching, and now I got my own small business, and I teach, and just given all this wealth and knowledge of just everything that I've accumulated over I guess my short lifetime, and just giving it back and learning more, and just being a sponge as much as I can, getting, whether it's financial advice, or whether it is, strength and conditioning or kinesiology advice, or whether it's being a young entrepreneur, or whether it's any type of advice, just being a sponge for that, man. So we're good. Just, and giving it back out to everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. From a mental health perspective, bro, you've always, like even though you mentioned your depression during your time in New Orleans, we never got that hint from you, right? And like, even like coming out of that, there's a residual depression moving back from DC, and we never got that out of you. And then there was an article that came out that you are now coaching in high school, and also now a PE teacher at Saunders. Like it showed like how much like you rebound, but like you not let any of that like depression consume you, and like how you're describing it today, bro, is going to be such an inspiration for people, for so many people, to like, hey, as much as you think like your expectations are there and you don't meet them, is not the end of the world, and you recognize that, and you found a calling. Like you have the right to choose where you want to be. You're not going to like think about random ass sales job or like an office job sitting down on the desk, doing random shit. Like you wanted to find the calling that relates to you, and you have a natural inherent ability of being a great speaker and motivating people. And like you've done that, bro. I remember, like, as corny as it is, I remember sitting down in Lake Ridge Middle School, 8th grade. You were like Wolf of the Year, bro. And like you stood in front of everybody, and like I'm like, oh, they're my corny ass friend AB up there. And like AB, you like the way you gave your speech to everybody, it's like you was running for president at that time. I was like, my goodness. Like you were like, bro, yo, I can't even remember who the principal was at that time. I know Miss Huckstein was there and whatnot. Yeah, but bro, like you definitely have that ability to not only voice inspiration to everybody, but to just instill it from your own experiences, right? Because not everyone is perfect in this life. Not everybody is perfect. And you definitely shown that through your trials and tribulations, that there's a way to like still find a way for happiness and not let any of this consume you. Yo, bro, thank you for sharing that. That is a beautiful story, because like, I was so sad that day, and I only know you to play football. And I regret even like saying that kind of thing, because you could do so much more than beyond that, like in football and being at the place you're at today. So, bro, God bless you. That is a beautiful story, my friend.
Quick hit, like what you're talking about is fulfillment, right? Fulfillment in your life, fulfillment in terms of, and not like a monetary thing, and that's my teeter totter, right? I'm like, oh, that person makes a lot of money. He's successful. He's happy. Those two things don't go together.
They
Usually,
don't,
like,
bro. I know, bro.
Problems, and I got to get myself out of that mindset even today, right?
Yeah.
Even now, I'm scared. I'm like, man, like I could be making a lot more money. Like that would make me more happy. I'm like, no, find your fulfillment based on your everyday actions and what you do every single day.
AB, you said it best, bro. And we're glad that you continue to pursue your passion outside of football. That's, a beautiful thing to have, and the strength that you have. I do want to ask one more question in our deeper human connection section. But I do want to say, like, we're moving through a generation, right? And you're seeing all these kids and whatnot. It's 2017, 2018, 2019. We're in 2020 now. Social media has a very big power on how the way the world is construed today. You see something happening in the world, and people are, it's mass hysteria. You see social media actually driving our elections. Like, it is crazy how much social media has an effect on it, but it has effect on each of us individually, our day-to-day lives. When we see friends doing a certain thing, and we're like, okay, he's doing that, it influences us. Yeah, that's the way it is, right? People are like kind of displaying like their personal lives on a like more of a like promotional type of basis. I'm not gonna like discount it. Yeah, like we all do it, right? Get it. But I want to ask you, has social media affected you mentally when times get tough, or does it, on the counter side, motivate you?
It's a little bit of both. I think once again, the perspective, right? Like everybody goes through those ebbs and flows of highs and lows. Right? When you're on a high and like you're like, oh, look at that person. They just, got a new car, bought a new house, got a new dog. Like everything on social media tries to be positive, and kind of flipping the lens a little bit. If you're like, I try so hard, but like when you post something on social media, should be, and you try to motivate people, and you're not talking about yourself and you're just, spreading positivity, I think it's a great tool. I think a lot of people get stuck in the facade, and I mean, me included. You just see people with like a lot of materialistic or doing certain type of events, and it's a bunch of everybody's like, oh, this is like good, 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 or like it's wow, 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 and something huge, right? And it makes you feel like you're not living your life. So,
Yep.
and I'm like, I mean, from grown adults all the way down to kids, but at least the grown adults, their brains aren't developing anymore, right? Your brain, your prefrontal cortex and your frontal cortex, they stop developing at age 25. So you have kids looking at all this stuff, and they're seeing that, and they're seeing this person get the new gadgets, or they're seeing this person get the new shoes, or they're seeing this person, and their family might be tied up in certain circumstances where they can't get it, and or they get tied to that, and it's dangerous. It's really detrimental, and I wish we could move away from it, but it is. It's here to stay. So with that being said, you got to kind of control what you can control about it.
Yep.
And once that, I think it's good. I think it can be for the better, and it's motivating. But everybody posts. I know guys. I know other trainers, right? We're close to them, but they're living at home with their parents, but they're looking like they're living in Malibu, right, or something like some just fabulous lifestyle. And I'm sitting here like, man, you don't have to do that in order to be happy. But fake it till you make it is an industry driven by social media, and I think you can do during COVID. Like when I say fake it till you make it, I mean like your actions every day.
Yeah.
If you're unsure about yourself, but with social media, I think sometimes it puts other people down, and when you're showing like that, all these things, or if you're like photoshopping or you're doing something, anything you can do to motivate people is the way you should run social media. I honestly think so. But
Amen, bro.
that's just
And
me,
like,
man.
no, amen. And I think you said it best, right? It's like to what is gonna like resonate and be, meaningful for everyone else, right? I could be accused of that. Like when I first moved to LA, I'm like, oh, I'm here in LA and whatnot, and like blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But like I learned over time, you get more fulfilled and satisfied when you can feel like you're touching other people, and make sure that these people are saying that they're being, they're like, hey, this inspires me, thank you for saying that, like there's no
absolutely.
reason why we're in a COVID era and people should be, flexing on what would they have, and not, and then trying in that same message, it feels like it's putting other people down. And be it like, people have the right to do what they want to do, but we're in a time to uplift each other, bro. Like, and then you said it best. Like, if there's a positive message, if there's a quote, like our good brother Salute is best at this. He shows, there's these different words and quotes and associations on like how to, better yourself, internalize and uplift, right?
Uplift people.
Uplift each other, like at the end of the day, we're all together in this world. Because what is it going to be like when we like, say you succeed and there's no one and everyone else is struggling? Does that feel good? That doesn't feel good at all. Not at all. Elitism is not a thing to be happy about. And so that's why, AB, I appreciate you recognizing, like, the power of making sure that what we do on social media, the actions that we do on social media, actually motivates and uplifts other people rather than be detrimental. And like, I'm sure you just said you've been on both ends of the spectrum, and you being a teacher now, you get like both ends of the spectrum, and that's
Absolutely. But
powerful.
like,
Yeah, you
it's,
shared it.
just your daily deposits, man,
Yeah.
and your life. Talk about like just the personal health, your daily deposits, and just trying to putting those like long-term goals, short-term goals, knock them out one by one, but staying on those paths help out, man. They really do. So
Absolutely, bro. Hey, bro, appreciate all of that mental health session, the human connection. It's very good to dive deep, and that's what the premise of all of these episodes are to come. Lastly, let's close this episode on a lighthearted note. Top of mind, what was the funniest time or most laughs we had together?
every time we around each other, I mean, me, you, Devin, Salute, all the guys, the hometown guys. you can just look at somebody and like big eyes and they'll just start laughing, right? And it's just it's comfortable to be able to be myself around you guys, right? It sometimes like when I get in front of a big crowd, I'll feel like this need or this want to make everybody laugh or make everybody feel comfortable. And I don't have to do that with y'all. I can just be myself, and it's legit. That's when you know like those are your friends because I don't have to act like nobody else. I don't have to like I don't even have to censor myself because y'all know who I am through and through. Like it doesn't matter if we're arguing or if we're laughing or anything like that. But it's awesome. It's a great feeling to have friends. Like I have people that came to my wedding and you were in it that say, I can't believe you have those friends. Like they are amazing. And I'm like, I know that we're blessed. We are very blessed to have those lifelong friendships. And like, even when you took my girlfriend in 7th grade, like,
oh my god,
like, hey, we're good.
oh
Like, no,
gosh, all
I
right,
will never forget
we can
that.
have the bonus episode right here.
I'm out. But also coming in March, there's gonna be a little baby Brown, and March
Oh!
27th, baby Brown is due. But listen, look.
What in the world? He did not just do that. Oh my gosh, AB just did a
Listen,
big announcement right here.
little baby Brown is due. Little baby Brown will know about the shenanigans that we did. So, boy or girl, we don't know the gender yet. Look, but boy or girl, he or she will know about the shenanigans that we did and what made it like true friendship. What makes it last and what makes a bond strong between friends. So they will know that. All right.
Wow, man. What a reveal. Congratulations to you and Colleen. I didn't even know that. I feel like you should have told me that earlier, but I'm glad that you said that, bro. God bless. That's the number one blessing in life, bro, is to have your family, your future family, your kids, grandkids. Like this is, man, bro, like a little AB or a little Colleen running around the house, man. I wish we were
Legacy.
neighbors because I can feel like I can infiltrate their mind and tell them like, all right, this is how your daddy AB was like. Let's try to like make fun of him, whatnot. But bro, congratulations. That is a blessing, man.
I
Like
appreciate it.
beautiful,
Thanks for
bro.
having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Oh well, bro, AB, you're a real hero, inspiration for so many. A lot of people like myself look up to you, bro. Thank you again for coming on the show. It was a pleasure, big brother. Excited to check out the new house. Like I said, make sure me and Rosemary's invite to the housewarming doesn't get lost in the mail. But hey, stay safe out there. Keep pushing those kids at C4 and Saunders. The future is in bright hands with this next generation. And you, my good sir, are leading the charge. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on. The West Wing's always open at the crib, if you need it. But for real, thanks for having me on. And hey, what you're doing is great. It's opening up these tough conversations for people, and everybody goes through it. Right? Everybody goes through depression, and it's whether or not you talk about it and other people know about it, or you keep it bottled up inside. And what we're doing in episode and what you're doing with this platform is truly going to help out people. So thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate the time. Tune in next week for our second episode featuring our great friend, Christina Gallardo. She will be discussing her powerful fitness journey within the last year. If you made it this far into the episode, we wholeheartedly thank you for staying on. Stay safe. Finish the week strong. See you all next week. Thank you so much.